When I think of Sister Maria Troncatti, I think of her simplicity and her missionary life.
She was born in a small Italian town, Corteno Golgi, on February 16, 1883. During her childhood, she was surrounded by her family, tending goats and helping in the fields. From then on, Maria displayed a strong heart, full of kindness. Her intelligence shone through in everything she learned. Little by little, her vocation was born in silence, with the reading of the Salesian bulletin that her teacher shared at school. Every story, every testimony from the missionaries ignited in her the desire to dedicate her life to God and serve those most in need. From a young age, Maria Holiness was evident. She was generous and helped others. Over time, she decided to enter the Institute of the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians after much thought, prayer, and feeling that she wanted to be a missionary. Her childhood and youth prepared her to live serving others with love and sacrifice. So, on October 15, 1905, Sister Maria said goodbye to her family to enter the institute in Nizza Monferrato. A year later, on August 12, 1906, she entered the novitiate and wrote, "Now I am yours, Lord. I want to be yours forever. Jesus, I have left what I loved most to come and serve you, to sanctify myself." During the First World War, Sister Maria trained as a nurse, took a course in healthcare in Varazzi, and worked for the Red Cross in the military hospital. This experience, caring for wounded soldiers, was very useful for her missionary work in the Ecuadorian Amazon. On one occasion, in June 1915, while she was in Varazzi, Mary made a pact with the Virgin Mary. In the midst of a flood, with the water threatening her life, she said to her, "If you save me, I will go to the missions." The Virgin Mary saved her, and after several years of waiting, she was sent to Ecuador. She left her homeland and her family with the certainty that God was leading her by the hand. Finally, on November 9, 1922, the missionaries sent to Ecuador departed for the Nizza train station, accompanied by Mother Inspector Carolina Mioletti. From Nizza, they traveled to Turin, Lyon, and Marseille, embarking at the port of Genoa. During the journey, Sister Maria wrote down the reflections that gave her strength and prayed for the mission that awaited her. "I seek your face, Lord. When we leave, we must leave our homeland and our families in peace. Jesus walks before us, cushioning the thorns, but he wants us to follow him with courage." So, Sister Maria Troncatti arrived in Ecuador on December 24, 1922, to carry out her missionary work in the Amazon region among the Shuar. This was a decisive stage in her life, She faced difficult conditions that tested her faith and commitment. Then, she began her journey to the Andean region, to the town of Chunchi, headquarters of the province. It was a place of great poverty, with no doctors or medicine. Shortly after her arrival, Sister Maria assembled a medicine cabinet with what she had and began treating the poorest people. In 1925, her great challenge arrived: the Amazon rainforest. Sister Maria always said that every step into the unknown was a further surrender to God. Accompanied by other sisters and missionaries, she set off for the Amazon. She felt great fear as she moved away from the world she knew. Yet she continued to offer all her uncertainty and fear to God. She arrived at Mendes, and here Sister Maria encountered the Shuar people for the first time. She cured the boss's daughter, wounded by a rifle bullet, and won the sympathy of the people. The daughters of Mary Help of Christians settled in Maquis, which at that time was a settler village. They lived in a small house on a hill surrounded by the huts of the Shuar people. The first years were marked by extreme poverty. The sisters lived off the charity of the people. Sister Maria was the director of the community. She cared for the people, healed them, and comforted them. Everyone found in her an open heart to ease their pain. They called her Good Little Mother. Clearly, Sister Mary's holiness was evident in her unconditional love for the most needy and her ability to adapt to indigenous cultural realities, respecting their traditions and gaining their trust with humility, affection, and solidarity. Sister Mary made diagnoses, offered remedies for illnesses, healed wounds, and was a surgeon, pharmacist, midwife, and dentist. She also went to homes to attend to emergencies, day or night, even crossing rivers. Always with her emergency kit in one hand and her rosary in the other, she invoked Mary Help of Christians on every trip and with every healing. She would say, "A glance at the crucifix gives me life and courage to work." Sister Maria was a happy woman, passionate about Jesus and for Jesus. The secret of her unconditional dedication lay in constant prayer, remaining in the silence of the night and dawn before her Lord, allowing her heart to be filled with His love. In 1947, she was appointed director of the community in Sukua, where she distinguished herself for her love for the settlers and Shuar. In a small wooden house, she welcomed the Shuar sisters and girls, encouraged the community, served as a nurse, educator, and catechist, creating a warm climate of charity and intense spiritual life. There was no needy person in Sukua and its surroundings who had not experienced her maternal and selfless love. No one came to Sister Troncatti and left disappointed, even in material matters. She strove to care for everyone. She not only healed, she founded the Pius XIII Hospital, trained Christian nurses, and taught them that caring for others meant recognizing their dignity. Sister Maria's holiness shone especially in her ability to see Christ in every sick and needy person. Furthermore, her patience, maternal tenderness, and constant willingness to help clearly reflect how she lived the gospel through her daily medical and social service, turning every act of care into a gesture of profound hope. She never lost her trust in providence. She was certain of God's presence in her missionary life. She performed simple and effective acts of motherhood. She welcomed children whom no one wanted, giving everyone affection, security, and serenity. Inspired by Don Bosco and Maria Mazzarello, she passed on her love for young people to her sisters and the people. In the midst of the territorial conflict in this area, Sister Maria served the Shuar and Mestizos without distinction. She was a mediator and sower of peace. On July 4, 1969, some settlers set fire to the Salesian mission because they considered them to be on the side of the Shuar. It was at that moment that Sister Maria was inspired to offer herself to God as a victim of reconciliation between the two people she loved so much. This mediating capacity reveals another essential dimension of her holiness. Being an instrument of God's reconciling love, she cared for both without distinction, helping them live more fraternally. She dialogued and advised women to sow words of kindness, justice, fraternity, and equality among people, knowing that through her educational power, future generations could be trained to live respectfully and accept diversity. On August 25, 1969, Sister Maria began her final journey from Sukua. The plane carrying her crashed just minutes after takeoff. Her life had already left an indelible mark. Years later, the Institute of the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians began the formal process for the Church to officially recognize her heroic virtues. Her simple, humble life of service, deeply committed to God and the most vulnerable, made Sister Maria Troncatti a clear and contemporary example of holiness. Sister Maria transformed places, hearts, and lives. Her total dedication to God and others is an example that inspires me to follow her path. Today, when I feel called to serve, I think of her. I think of her simplicity, her courage, her faith, her boundless love. Thank you, Sister Maria, for showing us that a life dedicated to God can transform the world. Thank you, Sister Maria, for leaving us the footprints on the path to missionary holiness.